Let me introduce Ms. Agatha Sushila. She is a founder director at Amcha Ghar NGO and who has saved and educated more than 500 unprivileged girls from perils of falling off the tracks through NGO Amcha Ghar. She is selfless devotion to service and is commendable. As a woman, she chose to be voluntarily childless and accept the children that comes to Amcha Ghar as her own. She is exemplary women's leader herself and has inspired hundreds of other women on the path to a fulfilling life. And she has her own story of struggle and working hard and how she, from the hometown, she was from small village called Madar in Ajmer and then shifted to Mumbai at the age of 16 and learned, educated, and also took admission in Nirmala Niketan College of Social Work. And she has continued her work since then in social service and continue till that. And we welcome Ms. Sushila. Thanks, Agatha Sushila, for your time. Thanks a lot. We have another panelist, Mr. Sunil Kumar. Mr. Sunil Kumar is having 16 plus years of experience working in different domains of development sector. During these years, he has led global initiatives on sustainable farming practice, community health, youth and women empowerment of programs. He has represented Indian civil societies in Global Council of Better Cotton Initiative, Geneva. He leads CSR strategy development of local businesses such as Ambuja Cement's AP Moller, Valveline, and currently leading Group CSR function at ACG Worldwide. He is a rural management graduate. He has completed a PG diploma in business sustainability management from University of Cambridge, UK. Welcome, Mr. Sunil. Thanks both of you for being present here. I'll request both of you to say a few words on the topic of compliances by NGO, and then I'll request Ms. Dolly to present her presentation. And I'll request both the panelists can give comments as in when the PPT is there, when they want to do. Thanks a lot. So I'll request Ms. Sushila first and then Mr. Sunil to say a few words on the topic. Thank you.
Hi, good evening, everyone. I'm Agatha here. Thank you so much, Dipti ma'am, for informing about my informations, about my work from last 3 decades. And today I'm so happy to be on this platform to share my little experience and how important it is to have NGOs, all the compliances online, so that we can approach any donors, not only CSR, but all different types of platforms where we can reach. So it is very important for all of us to have our compliances in line. That's from my end.
Thank you. Thank you. Mr. Sunil, please.
Yeah, hi. Thanks, Dipti, for nice introduction. So, good evening, everyone. I think someone's mic is on. Yeah, thanks. Thanks for muting. So, compliance becomes a real buzzword nowadays, and you might have witnessed the CSR journey from 2014 onwards. Before that, CSR was in totally different shape.
Sir, you're mute.
Please, sir, you're on mute.
Sorry. Am I audible?
Yeah.
Okay. So, yeah, let me start again. So I said the compliance become a real buzzword nowadays, and we all have witnessed the CSR paradigms since 2014. Before 2014, CSR was in different shape, and most of the development organizations were leading the CS development work, and corporate were just following what they were doing. But later, the MCA has taken a driver's seat, and the recent amendment in 2021 has give a different perspective for civil society organization as well as for corporates. So there are many things which we need to keep in mind while doing development work, whether we are a donor agency or we are a civil society organization. So we will be discussing what are the key compliance aspects which we need to take care.
Again, you are on mute.
So yeah, so let's see how the question shapes, and we will be discussing further on the compliance part going forward. Thanks.
Thank you. Yeah, Dolly, you can start the presentation.
Sure. Thank you. I welcome both the panelists and all the participants in this webinar. I hope my screen is visible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Make it full screen, no?
Yeah.
On.
Yes. So आज का हमारा ये टॉपिक है NGO compliances for CSR funding. So हमने जो इसके पहले जो वेबिनार्स किए थे तभी हमें काफी सारी क्वेरीज NGO से आ रही थी CSR फंडिंग के लिए. इसके लिए हमने ये वेबिनार रखने का सोचा. मुझे
मैडम
English speaking. Okay. So I want to make one thing, clear that we are not raising the funding for the CSR. Either we are, donating for the CSR. We are practicing company secretaries. Okay. So हम CSR नहीं करते हैं. Okay.
आप सुन ले 1 minute डॉली. ये इंग्लिश हिंदी मिक्स होगा तो आप बीच में मत बोलिए. मिक्सचर होगा, कोई इंग्लिश बोल रहा है, कोई हिंदी बोल रहा है. So please keep quiet now and please listen to the presentation. Allow the presenter to present. Humbly request you all. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. So what concept we are going to cover today is, as you know, Section 135 Companies Act 2013 में CSR introduce किया गया. तो उसके बाद there is a rule for okay. So आज हम बात करेंगे कि इनकम टैक्स एक्ट 1961 के अंतर्गत सेक्शन ATG and 12A में रजिस्ट्रेशन करना होता है. फॉर्म CSR 1, NGO Darpan, नेशनल CSR एक्सचेंज पोर्टल, एंड वी विल टेक अप सम ऑफ द FAQs. ठीक है. सो फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल CSR का कंसेप्ट क्या है? तो कंपनीज को ये बोला गया कि अभी आपको सिर्फ आपके प्रॉफिटेबिलिटी एंड ग्रोथ पे ही ध्यान नहीं देना है, उसके साथ यू हैव टू टेक केयर ऑफ द सोसाइटी, एनवायरमेंट. यू आर रिस्पॉन्सिबल फॉर दैट towards your stakeholders, your government, your environment, consumers and employees. It's a legal responsibility that cast upon the corporates. So as I mentioned कि जैसे मैंने बताया Companies Act 2013 में CSR इंट्रोड्यूस किया गया. So CSR एक्टिविटीज में दो एंड्स होते हैं. एक तो कॉर्पोरेट्स जो कंपनीज है वो CSR स्पेंड करती है, और एक दूसरे साइड पे रिसीवर जो बेनिफिशियरीज है वो रिसीवर होते हैं सर्विस के. फिर Companies Act 2013 में there is one more concept as an implementing agency. So implementing agency क्या है? There are like companies who are having their own implementing agency to look after their CSR activities. So implementing agency क्या करती है? जो CSR activities, जो CSR project है, NGO के साथ coordinate करके वो लोग CSR project पे काम करते हैं. Now let us see what are the modes of implementation. सो कंपनी या तो खुद एक इम्प्लीमेंटिंग एजेंसी बना सकती है, या तो कोई दूसरी कंपनी के साथ भी मिलके एक इम्प्लीमेंटिंग एजेंसी बना सकती है, या डायरेक्टली कोई बाहर जो आउटसाइडर इम्प्लीमेंटिंग एजेंसी है उसके साथ भी CSR प्रोजेक्ट पे काम कर सकती है। वो इम्प्लीमेंटिंग एजेंसी या तो कंपनी ने खुद बनाई होगी, या तो गवर्नमेंट या तो पब्लिक एजेंसी ने बनाई होगी। अभी कौन इम्प्लीमेंटिंग एजेंसी बन सकता है, तो सेक्शन 8 कंपनी, पब्लिक ट्रस्ट एंड द सोसाइटी, दे कैन बी अ इम्प्लीमेंटिंग एजेंसी। पर सबसे पहले टू बिकम अ सेक्शन 8 कंपनी और ट्रस्ट और सोसाइटी, सबसे पहले आपको अगर ट्रस्ट, सेक्शन 8 कंपनी और सोसाइटी बनना है तो आपको अंडर द सोसाइटीज एक्ट, अंडर द सेक्शन 8 कंपनीज एक्ट एंड अंडर द ट्रस्ट एक्ट यू हैव टू गेट रजिस्टर्ड। सबसे पहले तो आपको रजिस्ट्रेशन करवाना होगा, एंड ऑल्सो उसके लिए आपको पैन नंबर का जरूरत होगा, जो आपको इनकम टैक्स एक्ट में रजिस्टर करवाना होगा। So what is a PAN card? PAN card is an important document for the financial transaction and tax purposes. It's a taxpayer's permanent identification number allotted by income tax department. PAN once allotted remains valid forever. अगर आपको एक बार इनकम टैक्स डिपार्टमेंट ने पैन कार्ड नंबर दिया है, इट विल बी वैलिड फॉरएवर। अभी एनजीओ को क्यों अप्लाई करना है? हाउ दे कैन अप्लाई? NGO can apply for a PAN card by submitting an application form along with all the supportive documents to the income tax department. An NGO needs a PAN card to open the bank account, receiving foreign funds, filing the tax returns. So ये जो भी नए NGO है उनके लिए ये बहुत ही important point है कि आपको पहले तो PAN card application के लिए register करना होगा. Then why there is a necessity of applying for the PAN card, and what are the uses of PAN card? So जैसे आपको पता होगा कि इनकम टैक्स रिटर्न फाइल करना है, या तो आपको बैंक अकाउंट ओपन करना है, या तो फिर आपको कोई चालान फॉर पेमेंट ऑफ टैक्स, इंटरेस्ट, पेनल्टी वो पे करना है, वो सब जगह पे आपको पैन कार्ड नंबर चाहिए रहेगा। देन अगर आपको CSR नंबर जो अभी मैंडेटरी हो गया है इम्प्लीमेंटिंग एजेंसी के लिए, कि आपको CSR नंबर के लिए रजिस्टर करना है, फॉर्म CSR 1 फाइल करना है, या तो दर्पण पोर्टल पे आपको रजिस्ट्रेशन करवाना है, या तो फिर सेक्शन 12A एंड ATG के अंतर्गत आपको इनकम टैक्स में रजिस्टर करवाना है, तो उसके लिए भी पैन कार्ड नेसेसरी है। और अगर आपके पास पैन कार्ड नहीं है, ठीक है, तो पेनल्टी आपको चार्ज किया जाएगा एज पर द सेक्शन 272B ऑफ द इनकम टैक्स एक्ट 1961। According to the income tax department website, penalty of ₹10,000 can be levied. Yeah. So moving onwards, there is also another requirement to get registered under section ATG and section 12A. So as we have seen that NGOs can have a multiple options to get registered. Either they can get registered under the Trust Act. आप अपना ट्रस्ट बना सकते हो, सोसाइटी बना सकते हो, या तो सेक्शन 8 कंपनी बना सकते हो. NGOs primarily rely on the donations to support their functioning of the funding. To make these funds exempt from taxation, आपको टैक्स लागू ना किया जाए, इसके लिए आप सेक्शन 8 ATG के अंतर्गत एंड सेक्शन 12A के अंतर्गत रजिस्टर करवा सकते हैं इनकम टैक्स एक्ट में. ATG registration से क्या होगा? तो ATG registration helps you to receive the donations and issue exemption certificate to those who have contributed to your NGO. So अगर आपके यहाँ पे कोई डोनर आता है तो उनको भी इनकम टैक्स बेनिफिट मिल सकता है अगर आपने सेक्शन ATG के अंतर्गत रजिस्ट्रेशन करवाया होगा. Where is 12A registration exempt NGOs excess income or expenditure from income tax purview. So this is why the registration under section ATG and section 12A is important. Also, अगर आपको दर्पण पोर्टल पे रजिस्ट्रेशन करवाना है तो भी रजिस्ट्रेशन अंडर ATG and 12A मैंडेटरी है. अगर आपके पास रजिस्ट्रेशन होगा अंडर सेक्शन ATG and 12A तो ही आप दर्पण पे रजिस्टर करवा सकते हैं.
Just to intervene.
Yes, Sunil sir, please.
Yeah, just to intervene here. So this 12A and ATG are mandatory to apply for any grant to any of the corporates. So now the first thing the corporate say that you have ATG and 12A, you have 3 years of experience of executing program, similar program or of that scale. So these are the two primary things. You should go for ATG and 12A.
Yes. Yes, sir.
Yep.
Now let's understand overview about the registration under Section ATG of Income Tax Act. So if an NGO gets itself registered under this section, the person or the organization who is making donation to the NGO will get a deduction of 50% of his or its taxable income. Now, अगर कोई NGO है जो अभी new registration करवाना चाहता है under Section ATG, then let's see what is the criteria. So first you have to apply for a fresh registration, will be given to the principal commissioner. You will get the provisional registration for 3 years, which will be again obviously valid for 3 years. And then you have to apply for the renewal of the registration before the end of the 6 months, or the commencement of your this 6 months, which is earlier. Also you have to आपको ये registration renewal करवाना पड़ेगा every 5 years. ओके और ये जो री एप्लीकेशन करना होगा रिन्यूअल करने के लिए, वो आपको जो डेट पे आपका रजिस्ट्रेशन एक्सपायर हो रहा है उसके 6 मंथ के पहले यू हैव टू अप्लाई फॉर द री रजिस्ट्रेशन. ओके, so now what are the conditions for so that you can get registered under Section ATG? So first condition is NGO should not have any income which are not exempted, such as business income. सबसे पहले आपकी जो NGO की इनकम है वो बिजनेस इनकम में कंसिडर नहीं होनी चाहिए. Then only you will get the registration under Section ATG. If the NGO has the business income, then it should maintain separate books of accounts and should not divert donations received for the purpose of such businesses. Then second condition is the bylaws or the objectives of the NGO should not contain any provision for spend the income or assets of the NGO for the purpose other than the charitable purpose. आपने जो पर्पस से एनजीओ फॉर्म किया है, जो आपका चैरिटेबल पर्पस है, उसके लिए ही आपके जो ऑब्जेक्टिव्स है उसमें जो प्रोविजंस बायलॉज में जो प्रोविजंस मेंशन किए होंगे उसका पर्पस सिर्फ चैरिटेबल पर्पस के लिए होना चाहिए. थर्ड पॉइंट इज द एनजीओ इज नॉट वर्किंग फॉर द बेनिफिट ऑफ पर्टिकुलर रिलीजियस और अ कास्ट और अ कम्युनिटी. Fourth point is the NGO maintains the regular accounts of receipt and expenditure. आपको regularly returns file करने हैं, आपको आपके जो accounts है receipt and expenditure के वो भी maintain करना है. The NGO is properly registered under Societies Act, Trust Act and the Section 8 Companies Act 2012. और आपका जो एनजीओ है, जैसे मैंने पहले भी बताया, आपका प्रॉपरली रजिस्ट्रेशन होना चाहिए सोसाइटीज एक्ट में. यू शुड बी हैविंग द सर्टिफिकेट ऑफ रजिस्ट्रेशन. सो दिस आर द कंडीशंस फॉर द सेक्शन एटीजी. now let's understand about the overview about the registration under section 12A. पहले क्या था कि रजिस्ट्रेशन अंडर सेक्शन 12A एक ही टाइम मतलब वन टाइम रजिस्ट्रेशन था पहले, ठीक है. अभी फ्रॉम 1 अप्रैल 2021 अभी जो अमेंडमेंट्स आए 2021 में, ओके, नाउ दिस रजिस्ट्रेशन इज वैलिड फॉर द 5 years ओनली. सो आफ्टर 5 years यू हैव टू अप्लाई फॉर द रिन्यूअल. ओके, सो अगर आपको फ्रेश रजिस्ट्रेशन अभी करना है तो आपको सेक्शन 12AB के अंदर आपको रजिस्ट्रेशन के लिए अप्लाई करना होगा, which is again provisional registration दिया जाएगा जो 3 साल का होगा. then you have to submit for the renewal of your registration. जैसे हमने section ATG में देखा वैसे ही section 12A की भी same rules है. Yeah. Sunil sir, would you like to add anything?
No, I think you covered most of the point.
Yeah. Okay. So now let's understand about the form CSR1 applicability. First of all, ये form आपको MCA के website पे मिलेगा. मतलब basically, if you get registered with form CSR1, you will get the registration on the Ministry of Corporate Affairs. Okay. So as per Rule 4 of the Companies Act 2013 of the CSR rules, every entity who intends to undertake CSR activity shall register itself with the central government by filing form CSR1 electronically with registrar. Form CSR1 shall be signed and verified digitally by the chartered accountant in practice, or a company secretary in practice, or a cost accountant in practice. जब आप ये सबमिट करोगे CSR1 on the portal, you will get the CSR number, ठीक है, which will be your confirmation of the registration. Now ये form CSR1, what are the criteria? Who are the eligible one who can get registration under form CSR1? So companies which is established under Section 8 of the Companies Act, or registered under the societies, or registered under the trust, who are also having registration under Section 12A and 80G of the Income Tax Act 1961. So here it is very clear that first of all, you have to get registered. You should be having PAN card. You should be having registration under Section 12A and 80G of the Income Tax Act. Then only you can appear for the form CSR1. Company established under Section 8 of the Companies Act 2013, or registered trust, or a registered society which are established by the central government or state government, or an entity which is established under the Act of a Parliament or state legislature to receive CSR funding. All NGOs are mandated to register with the government by submitting form CSR1. This is required for effective monitoring of CSR spending in our country. So it is mandatory for all the NGOs to get registered with MCA by filing the form CSR1. Yeah. So now let's understand why there is a necessity. What are the benefits? Why we should get registered by filing form CSR1? First of all, you will be getting the security of the, receiving the CSR funding from the corporates, because nowadays, Sunil sir bhi batayenge, corporates is following the practice of, donating the money to those NGOs who are registered with the Income Tax Act, CSR1 bhi jinka file ho chuka hai. So corporates है वो ये prefer करते हैं कि हम उन्हें donations देंगे जिसके पास CSR number है, income tax में भी registration है, ठीक है. तो it is necessary कि आप register करवा ले CSR1. Obviously it will help you to enhance your goodwill, public image. कोई भी corporates है उनके लिए अगर NGO कोई नया है तो वो trust कर पाएंगे अगर आपके पास CSR1 जो भी compliances है वो already आपने किए हुए हैं. If you are seeking CSR funding being an NGO, it is mandatory to register as soon as possible. The MCA, now what is the process? MCA will review your application and probably they will request for additional documents if required. Once the application will be approved, then NGO will receive the CSR number. Yeah, which will again help the NGO to get the CSR funding from the companies. Yeah. So now there is a portal as NGO Darpan, which is launched by Niti Aayog, which is again maintained and launched by Niti Aayog with effect from 1st January 2015. So basically, what was the purpose of this, NGO Darpan? So basically, they are inviting all the voluntary organizations, non-governmental organizations to sign up on the portal, because this portal will enable them to enroll and also facilitate, creation of repository. So if you are being an NGO, you are registering on the, NGO Darpan, the corporates will get the idea about your NGO. Okay, your location, what you are into, and all that stuff. And that's how you will be able to raise the fund for CSR. Okay. The portal facilitates this NGOs and voluntary organization to obtain a system-generated unique ID. Unique ID is mandatory to apply for the grants under various government schemes and of the ministries, department, government bodies. Okay, so government भी काफी बार उनकी schemes and funding projects लेके आते हैं, वहां पे भी आप apply कर सकते हो, आप fund raise कर सकते हो government के साथ partnership करके. मतलब आपका NGO दर्पण में registration होगा तो ही आप ये कर पाओगे. So till now, almost 1,69,765 NGOs are already registered on NGO Darpan in India. 53 participating departments hai, and 35 online departments are there. Now, who can register on NGO Darpan portal? So as I mentioned, NGOs, voluntary organizations, charitable trust, society, charitable associations, Section 8 companies, they all can get registered on the NGO Darpan portal. Now let's look at the benefits. So first of all, it is mandatory to get NITI Aayog registration for getting, if you want a government funding, it is mandatory to get registered with the NGO Darpan. It improves the credibility for NGO, trust or society for getting donation from the public also. NGO Darpan portal will help NGOs and the government to create the strong collaborations. मैंने mention किया कि आप government के साथ partnership करके आपका जो CSR funding आपको मिलता है, उसके साथ आप CSR project पे काम कर सकते हो. An NGO can get the latest information about new programs or project which is government is coming up with through NGO portal. It provides updates on the government's previous projects also. Also, अब जब आप foreign contribution मतलब FCRA का registration आप जब करते हो, ठीक है, तभी जो form 10A also form 10A आप ATG registration के लिए file करते हो, दोनों ही केस में दर्पण ID अभी mandatory हो गया है mention करना. So that is also one of the compliance requirement कि आप NGO दर्पण पे registered होने चाहिए. Anything from the panelists? Agatha ma'am and Sunil sir.
Yes, I wanted to share with you about the recent, as an NGO, what I am facing through. So,
please unmute her. Yeah, please continue.
Yeah, so I wanted to share all my NGO partners that when we are giving, earlier very easily we used to give ATG receipts without taking the PAN card number of the donors. But now it is mandatory that we all should take PAN card numbers. Perhaps the donors were scared to give us, but now what happened? The donors, those who are not given the PAN card number, and now they are struggling. So like when we have to submit our documents to income returns, that time they did not give us. And now everybody is asking the official receipt, because unless the 10B form is given to them, they can't opt for it. They can't, claim the. So this is the news for, just a little information for all the NGOs that things were easy for us just to write in a receipt form and give it to the donor, but now little more changes. So I hope you are all aware of it. Okay.
Yeah. So how this NGO Darpan is helping? How this NGO Darpan is helping to raise the fund? Can you just tell us on that, Agatha ma'am?
Yeah, it is. If you NGO Darpan, if you register your number, so first of all, you are developing your credibility. Because very often for CSR people, like what I've experienced, CSR people, when the new NGOs come, they are really scared. How far the money will be well utilized. So if this is one, it's like NITI Aayog, the full form of NITI Aayog, if we know, all of us know, it's like NITI is National Institution for Transformation of India. It's such a beautifully put up that, so that if the name itself tells you, like if you are registered over there, then we all are working for the transformation of India. And that gives you credibility for the from the Darpan and NGO Darpan, that CSR can easily get it to you, and CSR people will come forward to you. Okay, these NGOs have got all the compliance, so they have first step is clear with the benchmarks, right? And then they can, of course, they do their proceedings and their follow-ups and all that. We have a lot of other things where we can discuss later.
Yeah. Okay. Sure. Thank you.
Yeah.
So moving onwards. There is another portal as a national CSR exchange portal. Again, this is an initiative by the government to, bring up all the corporates and the implementing agency. Basically to create the directory of the corporates and implementing agency and also providing them platform to interact. Because काफी बार ऐसे पहले हो रहा था कि corporates को CSR projects करने हैं, but they don't have any expertise who can guide them, right? So they were always in the dilemma to search about the implementing agency. कि कौन सी implementing agency को appoint करे, कहाँ पे उनका location है, what expertise they are having. So government came up with this initiative, to bring up the interactive platform, to basically interactive platform में create किया जाए जिससे CSR जो stakeholders है they can interact easily with each, one of them. The National CSR Exchange Portal shall serve as an e-marketplace, hosting pan-India social welfare projects where stakeholders such as implementing agency can put up its ongoing projects and companies can select the project for CSR spending as per their preference and vice versa. The exchange portal has been developed on the basis of recommendations from the high-level committee of CSR in 2018. This exchange portal will help the corporate, corporates identify a suitable implementing agency for their CSR project. And, for, as I mentioned, जैसे proper उनके project का CSR implementation हो सके, इसके लिए ये portal create किया गया है. What were the challenges? What were the purpose? मतलब क्यों ये create किया गया? Because as I mentioned, पहले एक challenges होता था कि suitable implementing agency कैसे find out करे, या तो फिर suitable project नहीं मिल रहा है, हमें spend तो करना है but हमें project नहीं मिल रहा है and all that. So that's why this portal got created by government. Now who can register on the portal? Registered companies and registered implementing agency can get registration on this portal. Then who are the registered implementing agencies? So we can say implementing agency who are those who are registered on the MCA 21 portal and also have the CSR number. So again, अगर आपको नेशनल CSR एक्सचेंज पोर्टल पे भी रजिस्ट्रेशन चाहिए, आपको CSR 1 फाइल करना होगा MCA के साथ. Then you will get the CSR number और तभी जाके आप यहाँ पे रजिस्टर कर सकते हो. Who are registered corporates? So registered corporates are those corporates who are having the registration with MCA. They are having their corporate identification number. And now lastly, what are the benefits of registration with the National Exchange CSR portal? So as we know, जैसे हमने पहले भी समझा कि implementing agency आपको you will be easily able to identify the implementing agency for your suitable CSR project. Also, you will be able to identify a suitable CSR project proposed by implementing agency. You will be able to interact with them. Also, you will be able to manage your CSR, projects through this portal. Now, what are the benefits for the implementing agency? If they get registered, they can apply to the corporates with their CSR project proposal. They can list down their projects, to raise the fund from the corporates. Also, they can manage easily CSR projects through this portal. Yeah. Yeah, anything from Sunil, sir? Would you like to add on anything on this?
Yes, Dolly. So I think the key message which you have delivered, that we need to get registered, whether it is a national CSR portal.
Sir, जी हिंदी में बात कीजिए, please.
Mr. Patil, because most of us understand English. That's unfortunate for us, all of us, because Hindi is our primary language, but still we communicate in English. So please bear with this. So what I'm saying, the basic theme for any of the company when you are applying for CSR, the first thing they look for the NGO, the trust or the confidence level on the organization. And when you are applying for whether 12A, ATG, although we are not claiming any tax benefit, but we want to get sure that you are a compliant organization.
Yeah.
You see a certain system in place, so which government has verified, vetted, Same with the CSR portal. So whether you can get any small project from the government, it gives us assurance that government is ready to be partner with you. It means a little bit trust we can have that particular NGO. So that's a very primary thing which we need to, which will be icebreaker for the CSR organization and the NGOs. I think this is important to apply. So request you to go through this. And yeah.
Yeah, I would just want to add to it, Sunil sir. Like Sunil sir is speaking from the CSR point of view, and I want to speak to all my NGO partners that it is always a challenge for all of us, that how to do for CSR1, how to apply for FCRA, because we are all grassroots level workers, and we believe in more work is worship for us. But we forget that today's world, 21st century, is telling us that build up your expertise. And the common questions comes to all the NGOs that we don't have funds. But it is a circle, if you don't have funds, you can't apply. But if you have expertise, you will get funds to build up your expertise. So even I did not have my documents, but when I got my CA was not doing my work, and then changed my CA, paid little extra, but now he's doing all my things. So there are a lot of questions what I'm seeing in charts, which is like, is always, this is a pain for all of us. We really want to work. हम सब काम करना चाहते हैं, हम सब बहुत अच्छा काम कर रहे हैं, पर क्या होता है जब CSR के पास पहुंचने की हमारी हिम्मत नहीं होती है, क्योंकि हमारे पास हमारे डॉक्यूमेंट्स बराबर नहीं होते हैं, और डॉक्यूमेंट्स के लिए हम लोग, हमारा हमेशा क्राई क्या रहता है कि हमारे पास पैसे नहीं है कि हम एक्सपर्टीज को लें, पर हमें कहीं ना कहीं इंप्लीमेंट करके एक एक्सपर्टी इन द ऑफिस तो होना बहुत जरूरी है अपन के लिए, सो दैट कि वो हमें गाइड करेगा इन द सेंस CSR इटसेल्फ इज समथिंग लाइक दैट, वेयर वो खुद कुछ नहीं कर सकते, उनके गाइडलाइंस होती है, वो सिर्फ उस गाइडलाइन पे चलते हैं, और गाइडलाइन पे चलने के लिए यदि आपके पास, इफ यू डोंट इवन अंडरस्टैंड द लैंग्वेज ऑफ द CSR, हमारे एनजीओ सब में ऐसी प्रॉब्लम है कि हम सब ग्रास रूट लेड वर्कर्स, तो उनकी लैंग्वेज भी समझ में नहीं आती कभी कभी, तो स्पेशली नाउ द थिंग्स आर बिकमिंग लाइक lot of MB people are in the CSR and हम ग्रासरूट लेवल काम करने वाले लोग नहीं पहुंच पाते, तो हमें एक तो मेरी हम्बल रिक्वेस्ट सभी के साथ में, ऑल द डायरेक्टर्स दोज आर हियर, कि एक एक्सपर्टी तो हमें रखनी ही होगी, तो ही हमारे एनजीओस हम CSR के पास पहुंच सकते हैं, और हमारे कॉम्प्लायंसेस जो हैं वो तो होने ही हैं, उसके अलावा हम कुछ नहीं कर सकते, तो वो करने के लिए हमें अच्छा CA चाहिए होगा, who will help us out with all those documents, and I'm sure people will, the company Mehta and Mehta company also can help us out for some documentation, कैसे करना है क्या नहीं करना है, या हम एट द एंड हम लोग शेयर करेंगे, PPT आप शेयर कर सकती हो मैम उनके साथ में, क्योंकि काफी अच्छी PPT आपने बनाई है, उसमें सारे बेनिफिट्स बताएं, प्रोसीजर्स बताएं, सारी वेबसाइट्स हम लोग वेबसाइट ऐड कर देंगे इसके अंदर, कि वेबसाइट पे ऐड करके आप ये कर लीजिए, सो दैट्स फ्रॉम माय एंड।
थैंक यू। प्लीज जैसे आपने बताया कंपनी सेक्रेटरी, चार्टर्ड अकाउंटेंट, उसका मतलब बिकॉज वी आर इनटू दिस कंप्लायंस एरिया, तो हमें वो कंप्लायंस और लीगल लैंग्वेज की एक समझ होती है, और जैसे कि अभी सुनील सर ने बताया कि कॉर्पोरेट्स ट्रस्ट नहीं करते जब तक एनजीओ कंप्लायंस नहीं किया हुआ है। सब एनजीओ का अगर रजिस्ट्रेशन होगा दर्पण पे, नेशनल CSR एक्सचेंज पे, CSR1 मतलब नंबर भी है, तो कॉर्पोरेट डोनर्स एंड इंडिविजुअल डोनर्स दोनों ट्रस्ट कर सकते हैं एनजीओ पे डोनेशन करने के लिए।
हेलो मैम
आप चैट बॉक्स में लिखो ना प्लीज राइट योर क्वेश्चंस ऑन चैट बॉक्स।
Dolly, there are chat box question. Can we take fast some question?
Yes ma'am.
It is asked, is FCRA is essential for project apply?
What's the question?
FCRA is basically required if you want this is for Foreign Contribution Regulation Act. So if you are getting you want foreign contribution, that comes into picture. Then there is it is more than 2 months I have registered in CSR Form 1, but still our NGO is not reflecting. It is more than 2 months. This will come disturbance so many people. It's more than 2 months I have registered in CSR Form 1, but still our NGO is not reflecting in CSR exchange portal.
Okay.
Now it's
can you please write your query to us on this email ID? Because then we need to check your application.
Now guide us. We are already registered. No donation. Sulekha can organize. Can organization without ATG 12A non-Darpan registration still approach for CSR funds?
No, because आप शायद दे भी देंगे कोई corporates, but now every corporates mindsets had changed. They are preferring कि जो ATG मतलब income tax में MCA पे registered है उनको ही हम corporate CSR funding देंगे, क्योंकि उनको उनके annual report में भी सब details देना होता है. So that is the reason कि आप registration करवा लो.
FCRA register only trust spends rupees 15 lakhs, or can I easily register, ma'am? No registration is easy.
Okay. I think it's a limitation. It's around 10 lakhs. Yeah.
Then PPT, everyone is telling you provisional, you have applied for
5% interest.
That's all I
Hello.
think.
Okay.
If there is any change in the name of trustee of the NGO registered under CSR, how we can make amendment in CSR 1 detail?
How you can make amendment under CSR 1? Okay, there's a change. Then I think you can do the re-application. It will be better that you can, write more in detail to us on email.
Yeah,
To understand it better.
if the trustees change, we have to go for society commissioners, change it over there. Then you
Yeah.
can apply to everywhere.
First उनको memorandum of association वो सब change
Exactly.
करवाना होगा. Right, correct.
The process.
Hello.
Pawan Verma, I would request you to write on a chat box. Then I can see Kaumudi, please write on a chat box your queries. By the time I will just take up the FAQs. So first of the question comes up is what type of donations are eligible for the deduction under section ATG. So first of all, to claim a deduction, the donation must be in the form of money. ये donor के side से है ये question. जब हम donation करते हैं, तो आपका जो form of मतलब cash के form में होना चाहिए, not in a form of goods or services. Deduction you can claim only via cash, check or electronic transfer. Also 2000 के ऊपर अगर आप donation दे रहे हो, तो you have to claim the deduction, you have to make sure that you are using any other mode than giving via cash. Okay. Then second question, can both the applications under section 12A and ATG of the income tax can be applied together? So answer is yes. आप ATG 12A दोनों application एक साथ भी apply कर सकते हो income tax act में. Okay. Yeah. Any other questions?
There is one question whether Darpan ID is mandatory.
Yeah, so if you want, see Darpan ID is mandatory.
Hello, ma'am.
That if you want आपको government के साथ partnership करना है या government से आपको funding चाहिए कोई project पे, तो Darpan ID mandatory हो जाता है. And also अगर आपको FCRA register करवाना है तो भी Darpan ID mandatory है mention करना. Yeah.
Excuse me,
That
ma'am.
is.
Excuse me, ma'am.
Darpan ID is mandatory for ATG, they are saying. Basically, Darpan ID will be compulsory if you are there.
Yeah, ATG अगर आप fresh application कर रहे हो ना ये year आपका NGO register करवाने के लिए income tax में, तो ATG 12A में भी Darpan ID mandatory है ये साल से.
Okay. I think we have covered the questions.
Yes.
Okay. Panelists, if you have any comments or any suggestion for the audience.
Yes, Dipti.
Hello.
Yeah,
Ma'am,
please.
I have one question. Can I take?
Can you put on a chat box, please?
I have already put on a chat box, but
Yeah.
it has
What
not
is
taken.
the question?
hello.
मैम हमारा ऑलरेडी ओल्ड ATG एंड 12A रजिस्ट्रेशन था जिसको हमने रिन्यू करके हमको प्रोविजनल रजिस्ट्रेशन मिला है फॉर 5 years. So I just want to know when we should apply for the permanent registration. We should wait till 26-27 assessment year 26-27 because it is for 5 years, or we should apply now.
You have to wait for 5 years. So before your registration will get expired, so before 6 months, you can apply for the renewal.
Okay. Okay, ma'am.
Okay.
हेलो
Yeah.
हाँ
हेलो
मैम, एक प्रश्न था मेरा। जो हम लोग जैसे काम कर रहे हैं 12 ATG सब कुछ है हम लोगों के पास, लेकिन हम जो वर्क कर रहे हैं हमें कैसे पता लगेगा जो कौन सा कंपनी CSR किस मुद्दे पे जो है फंड देना चाहती है ऑर्गेनाइजेशन को?
So sir, इसीलिए गवर्नमेंट ने ताकि एनजीओ और जो कॉर्पोरेट्स है वो एक प्लेटफॉर्म पे आ पाए और उनको पता चले, एनजीओ को भी वो लोग क्या कर रहे हैं, कॉर्पोरेट्स को भी पता चले कि क्या कहाँ पे वो इन्वेस्ट कर सकते हैं। इसके लिए ये नेशनल एक्सचेंज CSR पोर्टल है। काफी सारी स्टेट गवर्नमेंट भी अपनी एक वेबसाइट, राजस्थान का भी एक वेबसाइट है जहाँ पे वो वेबसाइट सपोर्ट करती है एनजीओ और तो कॉर्पोरेट्स को मिलाने के लिए। तो आप वहां पे चेक कर सकते हैं प्रोजेक्ट्स के लिए।
और दूसरा आप क्या
Hello.
most of the companies
Hello.
do their CSR report in public domain.
और CSR बॉक्स करके भी एक वेबसाइट है, उसपे भी चेक कर सकते हैं।
Sunil sir, you are on mute again. Sir, just a second. Saddam, please don't mute this panelist.
So
Hello.
All participants are requested to just put on the chat box. We cannot handle the question this way. We cannot end. That's why, please. Okay.
Hello.
Yeah,
Already I have
panelists.
put in the chat box.
Yes, Sunil sir, please.
So I was saying the most of the companies have their CSR report in public domain. So if you go through the report, you will able to understand the key thematic area the company is focusing under CSR, even the geographies they want to cover. So that give you a fair idea what the companies are looking for. And you need to, most of the question I have seen in the chat box also that they are not getting CSR funding, how to apply for CSR. I think you need to understand the CSR framework for the company perspective. It's a board subject. So it's not the CSR head or any person who is approving the key projects. It's the company's board who has to approve the CSR projects. And most of the companies do board meeting either in March end or in April. So that's the right time to reach out to any of the CSR fund. Before that, you need to understand what company is looking for development sector area and which geography they want to cover. So you need to gel your interest with the company, accordingly develop your proposal and reach out to the relevant person in the company. So that's a simple approach I can just suggest.
Even CSR box.
Hello.
CSR box is an app. You can even work it out over there. You will find a lot of CSR's numbers and contact number, thematic areas, everything is over there. Like, of course, you have to do a little research work on that. We can't just get ready-made things. We need to do research for that.
Yes.
And just
Majority questions are if our matter is pending, how to do it. See, each administrative office has their timeline, their rules, regulation. Each application has a unique, requirement. It is a very individual question. We cannot answer in this public platform. Ki my application, mera application pending hai, time lag raha hai, kaise hoga. These questions, as regards some information, we can talk and give answers. So many are writing मेरा question का answer नहीं हुआ, तो ये question हम answer नहीं कर सकते. That is the point here. Yeah, panelists, do you have any comments, please?
Yeah, I just want to tell all my NGO partners
Yes.
that यदि हम शांति से, मैंने ऑब्जर्व किया पूरे सेशन के अंदर कि हम लोग कंटिन्यूसली टाइपिंग द क्वेश्चंस, तो यदि हम शांति से ये पीपीटी सुन लेते हमारे 50% क्वेश्चन विल बी ओवर, क्योंकि सेम टाइम क्वेश्चंस आ जा रहे हैं. तो मैम आपसे, डॉली मैम एंड दीप्ति मैम रिक्वेस्ट करती हूँ कि आप ये पीपीटी भेजिए और जब शांति से उनके डिपार्टमेंट से कोई भी पढ़ के दिखाएगा, उनकी 50% प्रॉब्लम सॉल्व हो जाएंगी वहीं पे.
Thank you.
मैडम मेरा एक क्वेश्चन है. हेलो.
एंड मुझे फिर से एक बार ये बताना है कि हम फंड रेजिंग नहीं करते हैं, तो प्लीज हमें फंड रेजिंग के लिए कॉल मत कीजिएगा.
एंड इधर फंड आप हरिजन हम फंड रेज के लिए नहीं कर रहे हैं. आपका अगर क्वेश्चन है कंप्लायंस के लिए, उसके लिए बात कीजिए, उसका आंसर हम देंगे, बाकी का नहीं देंगे. मिस्टर सुनील, यू वुड लाइक टू से कमेंट और वी कैन क्लोज द सेशन.
Hello.
Good evening, ma'am. One last
You
question.
can close, Dipti.
Yeah. Okay. Thanks both the panelists,
Hello.
Ms. Agatha and Mr. Sunil. Thanks for your time. Our next webinar will be on the compliance after the CSR fund is received. And I would like to connect with Mr. Sunil and you for that. Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot for your time. Thanks, Dolly, for the presentation. Thanks, the participants. If you have any legal specific question, you people can mail it to us, but others, so that we can answer you individually. Thanks a lot. We'll close the session. Thanks, everyone.